Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the proud owner of the Dartford Dog Car. I primarily bought the car as a means of taking my dogs out. I have two other vehicles as I run my own chauffeur company, and obviously it's not practical to put my dogs in those cars. So I bought this old Volkswagen Golf. It was off of one of my neighbours. I used that to drive my dogs around for the last for about 6 years now, and for the first couple of years it was just normal. Bought a private plate for it, you know, one of those purchases you make late at night when you had a glass of wine, and it's quite a character to it. Last year I was trying to fall asleep one night, and tossing and turning, for some reason I come up with this crazy idea of covering the car in fur. The next morning the idea was still fresh in my head, and realised I could buy some like a teddy bear fabric material. The material and glue arrived within a week, and before I know it, I had a little task on my hands. It took me about 5 hours to do. Several of my friends say that perhaps I have a little too much time on my hands. My car already had a little following. People would see me as we drive past. Lola favours sticking her head out of the right hand window, and Cenzo runs between the two, and people stop and point and laugh at the cars that would go past. Quite often I'd be driving along a motorway and you'd suddenly be aware of a car that's pulling up next to you and level with you, and then you look sideways and yep, they've got their camera out and they're videoing you. So you see my two babies, they are my children. They're both coming up for 5 years old. I've had Lola since she was a puppy, and she's lovely, soft, loving, easy, she plods along, she's great. Cenzo, however, is a bit more sparky, he's a bit more charged up, supercharged. He's into everything, and he just charges and runs, and he's never seems to run out of energy. 3 years ago I lost Heidi. She was a lovely black and tan Doberman. She was about 7 years old, and I love my dogs to run, to play, to dive in the water, to jump through this, and as with kids or anything like that, they're going to get bruises, cuts, scratches. That will happen. It's no good having dogs you just keep at home. It's not fair on them. So Heidi jumped in. I threw a stick out. She swam back with it, and then she tried to bring it back a fence post. Unfortunately, it was too heavy and sodden with water that she breathed in water, and she coughed it all up, and she seemed okay. But lesson learnt: I should have taken her immediately to the vets. She drowned, a secondary drowning, or aspiration pneumonia as they called it. So I've always had two dogs. I need to get another one, another sister or brother for Lola. I went back to the breeder and with the idea of taking on a rescue. And Cenzo was there. Cenzo come from Serbia originally. He was sold over here as a pedigree dog, and the owner returned him, saying he brings dirt in the house. Well, don't get a dog. The car is parked around the back of my house, not on the street, for no other reason except it's a gated car park. There's a routine they usually go through where they charge around and around and around several times. Sometimes I jokingly chase after them and they'll run around and eventually jump in the back of the car. One of the first questions people ask me when they see the car is, how do you wash it? I jokingly reply, shampoo and set. In fairness, you just aim the jet wash at it and the dirt will come out of it. And likewise, when they say, what happens when it rains? Well, it dries. No more maintenance than a normal car, really. I think it does quite a good job in cheering up the community. We all need to take time out to smile, to laugh, to make somebody else laugh. And if this does that whenever it's out to at least one person, I think that's a job well done.